fucking shit. Yes, yes, yes. Spider mask, spider ball, spider shirt. Even though the friggin' quality sucks, Spider-Man. I fucking love Spider-Man. If that can't be fair to say, I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man is hands down favorite superhero. But I love Batman. But Spider-Man, he's a home dog. He's a G. He's awesome. So going into this movie, so I am biased. Going into this movie, I was I'm very concerned because the way Sony treated the Amazing Spider-Man 2 really sucked fucking balls because. As I said, recently with my, I'm going to do a video on Amazing Spider-Man, the video game. I don't know if I've got that up on time, but besides the point is, I loved Amazing Spider-Man 1. I thought that was a great movie, like a generally good Amazing Spider-Man movie. And then with the sequel, they did the same thing with Spider-Man 3, where they shoved too much in. It was just too much, too soon. They were trying to set up a universe, all these stupid spin-offs, blah, blah, blah. And it just wasn't enough. And then when I heard that, like, you know, he was going to be back with Marvel, I was like, yes, awesome. And then I found out Sony was going to be involved. I was like, no. But yes, so the point is, it is a great, Amazing Spider-Man awesome movie. There's so much I want to say, so I'm going to do the preamble, non-spoiler stuff before. All I'll say is, as I was talking to my brother, because he went to see Baby Driver, which I will see, just at another time, you know, money, expensive. The thing is, like I was telling him, like, the action is better in other movies. The drama and, like, the stakes are better in other movies. But this was definitely the funniest, the silliest, the goofiest, the most happy, and because of that, it is the most Spider-Man. Like, don't get me wrong, I love big, huge villains like Venom and, you know, all the Civil War and the Infinity War and all that other stuff. I love Spider-Man being like an A-tier character, but he works best as that small scale, just, you know, guy fighting criminals, and like even his rogues gallery. You have people like compared to Batman, who is always like the Joker, like is about to assassinate the mayor, or Two-Face is about to blow up a building, or Scarecrow is gonna poison the whole city. These like cataclysmic things. A lot of Spider-Man villains are just like, I'm gonna rob this bank, and like sure it escalates, but there are a lot of small scale stuff. And this was a small scale movie, and it like watching it as it unfolded, I was like, this is very small. There's not a lot of, but like because it's so small, it makes you care so much more. I have a mini brain fart, so that is why I wrote little note flashcards, which I'm gonna steal from kindoffunny.com. So go watch their video and their Spider-Man review, and I'll link it maybe if I feel like it, if I'm not tired when I upload. Yeah, but again, so the humor is like hilarious. Like there are so many fucking great funny jokes. It's just like the fact about like the opening montage where you see him be Spider-Man is like kick-ass, but it's also an awesome kick-ass where he is like helping people get their stolen bikes back, or like this guy's about to break into a car and then he's like, hey, don't steal cars. It's like, this is my own car, and then the alarm goes off and he wakes up all the neighbors, and then Spider-Man's just standing there like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And then he the part with like there's the part with Zendaya where they're at the prom, and Peter's like looking in, and everyone's like, Peter, and he's just like, she's like, fuck you. And then there's so many great parts. Like it's a very funny movie. Oh, the Ferris Bueller part is hilarious, where he's chasing Vulture through the suburbs, and he just starts swinging through a bunch of back yards, like running, chasing over, and like it's cute. I get it. And then they play the actual Ferris Bueller clip in the movie to go like, hey guys, this is a joke. Like it's cheesy that they explain it, but it's awesome, and I love it, and it's great. It's just there's so many things. Flashcards. We're gonna skip that. We'll go with the MC Canute. Yeah, this being in the MCU, I fucking love. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed, again, Amazing and Sam Raimi's Spider-Man because of, they had a lot more Easter eggs and cameos and yada yada. These were a lot sillier. Like, there's one part where Michael Caine, or no, not Michael Caine. Oh God, Beetlejuice, Vulture. We'll go Vulture. He is stealing like advanced technology to sell on the black market. And he like he goes through his like Spider-Man goes through his bag and he's like, there's some wheel thing, I don't know what that was, there's some nerd, but then he pulls out Ultron's head, or like a robot of Ultron. I'm like, oh that's awesome. And then there's like the whole stuff with Captain America, and you know, like him getting detention, and like the best friend, when he finds out he's Spider-Man, he's like, what does the Hulk smell like? I was like, I don't know. He's like, I imagine the Hulk smells good. There's not enough time to talk about why this movie is so amazing, but I go back. I just the end scene with Iron Man. I was dealing with that real quick. Iron Man was not as much as I was in it. First off, that scene in the trailer at the end where like him and Spider-Man fly off, not in the movie. Which kudos to you guys, because I was like looking for that, and like, as the final scene, like action scene, takes place at night, and I was like, was that scene in the early morning? Like, I don't remember. Like, how does Iron Man come into this fight, and how is it going to like? I'm just like, wait, so where does? Okay, if the fight's here and the fight ends, is the final shot going to be him and Iron Man flying off? I'm just like, how does this happen? And to the trailer's credits, I hated the trailers because I'm just like, this is spoiling everything. You're telling us Iron Man saves the boat. You're telling us all this stuff goes on. Like, there are a whole plethora of spoilers. So the trailers like don't spoil that much. Again, it's one of those things like less is always more, but still they don't spoil the major, great, awesome scenes that make the movie. Like for example, Spider-Man in Washington D.C. In the trailers, I was always just like, what the heck is he doing in there? Like, and there is a reason. Like, he goes with his class trip and yada yada. And then the final MCU one was obviously, first off, he gets the Spider-Man suit, which like you see, and it's like he doesn't accept it, but he's gonna be a small, you know, scale superhero. That's awesome. And then you see Gwyneth Paltrow, which a lot of people have talked about, like, oh, I thought they were divorced, I thought they were separated, blah blah blah. She was in it, and they get engaged, maybe, who knows. Yeah, and then speaking of reveals, because again we're into full spoilers, people. Like, the movie's good. It's the best Spider-Man movie. It's not the best comic book movie of all time. There's great action. The action is decent. The humor is amazing. The writing is. The characters are hit and miss. Some characters are better than others. But it's a good movie, but again, it's not like this, oh my god, mind-blowing Avengers level movie. It's just like oh, that was a great Spider-Man movie. I wasn't like, I'm not gonna, if I was not a Spider-Man fan, it would be like Doctor Strange, where it's just like, oh, that was a Doctor Strange, I enjoyed that, it was a decent movie. Like, this one, I fully admit it because I'm Spider-Man. But yeah, so, and going in for the more spoilers, the MJ thing, a lot of people guessed it, a lot of people figured it out. Zendaya is in fact MJ. It's that cheesy thing they've done all the time, where I think her name was Beatrice or Ruth or something like that. She's like, oh, my friends call me MJ. It's like, your name starts with R. Why are we calling you MJ? But whatever, it's cute, it's simple. And I do like that she's not the party girl, like, sexy MJ. Also, shout out to Marvel, Sony, whoever, that both, at least, the girlfriend in this movie and MJ are black and Peter's white. This is a very nice, oh, cool, little racial acceptance thing. There's also the mini reveal of the Shocker, where there was the first, like, this guy was just like an Iron Fist type thing, or like, let me clarify, not the Kung Fu guy, like a metal, electric, like, you know, punching glove type thing, who punches Spider-Man, and then he's like, yeah, we beat Spider-Man, and then Michael Keaton is like, I gotta defeat you, or like, I can't have you talking to the cops or anyone, and boo, and he like shoots him with a laser, he turns to like dust, and Michael Keaton was like, thought that was a gravity laser, and then he's like, well, whatever, you're the Shocker now. So it was such a cute little, like, because again, it, like, one of my favorite things as a nerd is like, For good or for bad, a lot of modern superhero movies don't like to embrace the name. Which, come to think about it, like, I think Spider-Man is the first off the top of my head. Because, like, in Iron Man, he doesn't call himself Iron Man. He's just like, well, I'm a superhero. And then Captain America is obviously named that because of, like, the plays and whatnot. So, yeah, I'd have to double check. Like, I don't think he calls himself Black Panther, for example. He's just like the Panther or something like that. Or but I digress. Or Doctor Strange. That was another one. He doesn't call himself Doctor Strange. He's just Stephen Strange. But yeah, so I like the Shocker was in it, brief cameo type deal. Speaking of, Donald Glover was in it for a brief second, and I did not pick it up. Watching Kinda Funny, which I'll link somewhere, and by somewhere I mean in the comments, is that we're talking about how he was not a character. Like, he wasn't any specific shout out or reference. He was just a guy. But apparently he's related. He's Miles Morales' uncle. He's like, hey, I got a nephew. I got to take care of. I'm like, okay, cool, that's cool. This is me nitpicking. That means Miles Morales is already born, which means if Spider-Man's like, let's say 14, 15, he's only gonna be Spider-Man for, let's say, 5, 6 years. Which seems like a small time to me. You know, like, we'll see how the timeline... That's so far the future, but it's like either... it's just like, I don't want Tom... I want Tom Holland to play forever. Or as long as he can he's able to. And I don't want to think about Miles Morales right now, because I enjoyed this movie so much. And then, the last one is just the end scene where... they talked about where Michael, or okay, I guess that's the other big reveal is when Peter goes to Michael Caine's house. Michael Caine, Peter. What was that? I tried to do Michael Caine. It's Michael Caine. I don't know. I'm just gonna be quiet now. But no, when he goes to his house, he seems that the guy that Peter likes, Liz or whatever her name is, her dad is the Vulture. It was like, whoa, and the audience was so silent, and like I was just like sitting there, like I did not get a big popcorn or food or anything, but then like I was handed a bag of like snacks, and like the entire movie I didn't touch them, and during that entire scene I was just like, I was just like shoveling like gummies in my mouth, because it was just like I couldn't get, I was like, my mind was blown. But yeah, and then the other one was, of course, the end one with, he finds out who Peter is, and then the one guy's like, oh, I heard you know who Peter is, and then the Vulture covers for him, because Peter saved him from the explosion at the end when the plane crashed, and all that. It was just like, that is a great character, because again, at first you're just like, he's a simple construction worker, and you don't understand why he goes bad, and then it's her dad. Like, there's so many layers to this character. And it's one of those things, like, you get it, like, he just wants to support his family, but, you know, stuff goes wrong, and, there was a wee tiny bit of, like, Occupy Wall Street, like, oh, Stark, and the rich people don't care about us, that we only want the scraps, and, like, that felt a little, like, okay, preachy, like, yeah, okay, he's poor, like, but, I digress. I'm just gonna run through these all, so the final action scene with, on the plane was neat, because that was not in the trailers, and it was cool to see Spider-Man in the air, and, do all that. The golf course scene was cute, because, like, though as a nerd, because in so many Spider-Man games, you could just, like, use your webs to, like, plant on the ground and pull forward, so I was just like, come on, but again, he's a young Spider-Man, he doesn't know that, that's me, I get that, that's all 100% on me. But yeah, there's a great use of, like, in the suburbs, he couldn't swing on buildings, obviously, and, like, when he did swing on the trees, he was, like, super low to the ground, or, like, he was basically skidding along it, where it's really cute to see him actually, like, have to stick his webs to things, as opposed to certain games, like Amazing Spider-Man, where he can just, like, swing forever, like, off clouds and seagulls and whatever. So it was cool to see, his actual use of powers in terms of, like, he is like in the open, or he's here and here. He can't attach his webs to anything. I do like the theme song. The opening joke is cute because they have a la I did. They had the Spider-Man theme, just like during the Marvel logo thing, which is a cute little, like, yeah, you know, nowhere else to really put it, but that's definitely a cute place to put it. I enjoy why him being a kid, because, like, even though Amazing Spider-Man 1 took place in high school, and like a small segment of Sam Raimi, this felt like the most high school Spider-Man. Like, it was the setting of high school, and the prom, and the party, and Peter trying to impress the girl, and all these other stuff. Like, it was just like, even though we've been in high school a fair bit, this still feels like really fresh and really unique, this different side of Peter Parker we've got. And I would love to see them just like, no, let's keep him as a teenager for as long as possible. He will become an adult one day, but for now, let's just stay in high school as long as possible. So, oh, that was great. And just him, just like, you know, being, the scene with the deli owner at the start of the movie, when he, like, goes in and he's just like, oh, you know, the guy's, like, talking in some language. He's like, hey, he's got a hot aunt, and Spider-Man replies in his language, like, hey, you've got a hot daughter. And he's like, he's just a kid. He's a dork and a kid, and I love it. He's, like, he's every high school teenage kid that, you know, you can imagine. Then speaking of hot Aunt May, they also make a lot of jokes about that, which I like. They striked in my middle ground. Something I like and dislike is they gave her, like, these really obnoxious, like, almost Maz Kanata from The Force Awakens. Those big, like, you know, nerd circle glasses with, like, the fish eye lenses, where it's like, woo, where it makes her look a little bit older. She wore a lot of like pants like up here type thing, and it might be a 70s thing, but it's just like there are certain points where it's like they're like, we're gonna make fun at the fact that Aunt May is young and hot, but also we want to remind you that she is in fact old. It's like, well, you're kind of doubling down on that joke there. Like, you got to stick to one or the other. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. And the last thing is, and the last two parts is, something I spoke about is, part of the reason I love Spider-Man is because he is such a ripoff of Batman, or vice versa, or however you want to look at it. The point is, Spider-Man is a scientist, or whatever. You'd think Spider-Man would have more gadgets, and I, like, looking it up, he really does not. He has, like, kind of baby essential gadgets, like, nothing crazy, like Batman. Like, Batman has the grappling hook, the batarang, the freeze grenades, all these other stuff. Spider-Man does not have that much. This movie, I do like it because his suit is his like utility belt. Like, he can see infrared, and he can hear, like, he can see lip sync, like read surveillance mode and interrogation mode with Donald Glover, where he's like, voice goes with people like, "Bring me murder, villainies," or whatever, and it's like kill mode, and the fact that he has like webbings where it's like act as electric, like stun webs, and like he can change. He's like, you've got 567 different combinations for like the fast webs, the web grenade. Like, it just show, like, yes, Peter Parker has gadgets. He has all these different stuff. Like, yes, he's only gonna stick to the basis of webbing and fighting, but so he has so many different gadgets, and I'm hoping the upcoming Insomniac Spider-Man remembers that he has so many gadgets, and like I want to see so many different types of gadgets and different way to incorporate it. Like, he had the parachute, he had the drone on his chest. It's just like there's so many cool other stuff. And the other part was the AI, which was part of the suit. She was sassy, was silly. I do enjoy that. He had someone to talk to. Like, I like the scene where he's just like trapped in the military warehouse. He's like, alright, well, like, he started testing his weapons and like just putting on like random clothes and going through all the stuff, and then he's just like starts talking to her about his girl problems, and it's very silly and goofy. Like I said, it's that nice juxtaposition of he's Spider-Man, but he's also this younger Spider-Man being mentored by Iron Man. So I do like that. Like, it didn't feel intrusive to me, like, oh, Spider-Man would never do that. Like, if Spider-Man had access to an AI, he would 100% do it. And it also explains, like, how he controls certain, abilities and stuff like that. Like, he doesn't have to physically, like, push. That's why his suit doesn't have buttons. He just has the AI, which he can tell to do, and yada yada. But yes, the main thing, besides all that, which is, this movie, again, more so than any other Spider-Man movie, reminded me why I am a Spider-Man fan. And with Batman, it's kind of the opposite, where it's I like Batman because he's dark and gritty, and he has these, like, like, I enjoy Batman the Brave and the Bold, or the goofy, silly Batman, or all that other stuff, but I, like, much prefer, Batman, like, the new, crossover they're doing recently, with Looney Tunes, where, like, Batman is hunting this Elmer Fudd type, serial killer type of thing, where it's like, I like Batman dealing with serial killers and crime scenes and blood and gothic and dark and, like, gritty. And then Spider-Man's the exact opposite of that, where he's like, hey, I'm a superhero, I'm fun, I'm happy, I'm quippy, like, woo, like, there's no consequences, and everything's goofy, silly, like, yeah, like, oh, I don't have to, if I don't catch this bad guy, it's not the end of the world, like, yeah, I'll just rob another bank. Like, Spider-Man is the opposite of that, where it's just a power fantasy, it's silly, it's happy, it's goofy. And no Marvel movie in recent memory has made me laugh this much, like, be so happy, giddy, like, I was not on the edge of my seats in terms of action or things, but it's just like, I was so happy, I was grinning the entire time, because it's just like, this movie is a happy, silly, goofy, it's like, yeah, let's go have fun type of movie, like, you know, we'll get Avengers, Infinity War with the serious grit of, like, whoa, this is, important stuff. But I just like again, the thing that makes this movie so great is we have the Avengers for those big, bombastic, end-of-the-world stories. And then here's a smaller, just like, because again, at Endgame, like, what happens is just Michael Keaton sells his weapons on the black market, and then criminals are slightly more prepared than they were. It's not end-of-the-world stuff, but it's still, it's important to us because of the small scale of the story and how much we connect to the characters and all that, and I could talk about this movie for hours upon hours and hours, but the point is, it's good. I love it. It's great. There's so many good things to talk about. I could have wrote down my notes even more, and it would have been amazing. But, yes, please go see this movie. Again, there are better superhero movies. There are better Spider-Man movies to a certain degree, but this is still hands down the best Spider-Man movie because of just how happy, and it makes me feel like a 12-year-old when I started getting into this Spider-Man. It makes me feel like that kid again, and it's a very rare thing that a lot of things are not able to capture that feeling again, and the fact that Spider-Man is able to do it so well just goes to show how well of a great and awesome and amazing movie it is, and I'm looking forward to whatever other adventures they're going to be doing in this universe. But until then, I have been Viral Vinny, and I will see you guys next time. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, I don't know the rest of the songs, but I mean, who does? 'Cause he's Spider-Man and he kicks ass, oh yeah, he kicks so much ass.
Who's your dad?